So glad you could join us. As you can see, we are out of the studio. We are in Walnut Creek at the Lindsay Wildlife Museum. And volunteering, of course, is always important to an organization like this to keep it running smoothly. And we have with us right now Diane Lang, and she is a volunteer, been a volunteer for 5 years. Nice to see you, Diane.
Thank you.
Okay, what made you decide to become a volunteer here?
I was visiting with my family. Was looking at all the raptors, particularly all the animals you can see so close up.
Right.
I made eye contact with a bald eagle, and that was it.
It was love at first sight. Was
yeah,
that it?
I wanted to be here.
Yeah.
I wanted to help other people understand what a great
well, I
place
think
it
the
was.
people who are watching may not be familiar with the Lindsay Museum is the fact that these animals cannot be out in the wild.
That's right. They're all non-releasable. They all have some sort of permanent injury.
Yeah, a broken wing or something like that that keeps them in captivity, so
Right.
to speak. But they serve a wonderful purpose, don't they?
Oh yes, they really help educate people about the wildlife that they would not have a chance to see.
Yeah, now you're taking a tour here today, as a matter of fact, with second graders.
In a little bit. Actually, it's third graders. I'm
Third
here
graders.
to...
I just demoted them one grade.
That's okay.
Yeah.
To take them on an hour-and-a-half tour of the museum, where they're going to get to meet a live bird of prey. They're going to get to touch a snake, and just a lot of things that make them more aware of the wild world around them.
You know what? There's nothing like touching a snake. I've always said that. You know?
It's pretty special.
Yeah. 5 years you've been doing this. When I first came to this museum, the Lindsay Museum, it was about 1/3 the size of it is now. It was maybe 20 years ago. And this fantastic new building, well, it's not that new now, 10 or 13 years, has really added a lot to the community, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think it has.
Yeah. And when you go on volunteering, do you volunteer like 1 day a week or 4 days a week? How do you do that?
Well, I wear a few different volunteer hats here, and there are a lot of different ways that you can volunteer.
Tell me about a couple of those hats.
As a docent, leading tours, we get to come in when it's kind of worked in with our schedule, though we have a certain hourly commitment for the year. I also come in and talk to the public in the afternoons 1 day a week. There are also volunteer opportunities in our hospital, which is a wonderful way to get involved doing wildlife rehabilitation. They offer training starting after the new year, and a lot of people really enjoy that.
Give me a little more information about that. You work obviously with a veterinarian or somebody who's a professional at it, is that right?
Yeah, we have a full-time veterinarian. We're very lucky to have her, and a lot of supervisors that have a lot of experience, so the volunteers get a lot of guidance, plus their training.
Do people bring in a lot of crippled or wounded animals? That must happen on a fairly regular basis.
About 6,000 a year.
Wow.
And it's especially heavy during the summer, a lot of work during the summer. You know, that's when birds are nesting, their baby birds that might fall out of their tree, maybe get caught by cats, various animals, all sorts of reasons to come in.
They don't like bring in a squirrel with a limp or something like that.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to come through the door.
Yeah. And of course that requires some special handling too.
Definitely.
I mean, the general public should not be picking up an animal sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. No, we talk about that. If you find an injured animal, you know, first of all, not to touch it if you can help it. Maybe call animal control if it looks like a challenge, but not to touch it with your bare hands.
Did you have an interest in animals before you started volunteering? You were an outdoor person? And
yes, I used to raise guide dog puppies and worked at the Humane Society.
So you had a long history before you got into that. When you were just a little girl, did you start becoming interested in animals and outdoors?
I guess. There's not a single picture of me without a dog next to me, so I
guess. Something was always following you, is that it? You know?
Something like that.
Well, people who want to volunteer can contact, I assume, can contact the museum here. And,
yes, can call or check the website. There are classes throughout the year to talk about all the opportunities that there are here, and then you can choose within those, and lots of people here are happy to talk to you about the different ways.
I imagine you have a lot of volunteers in this place. Huh?
We have, I believe, almost 600.
Yeah, 600? Oh.
You certainly don't see them all at once. A lot of it includes the hospital volunteers that have to work, you know, all through the year, all day.
Well, you're a perfect example of a great volunteer. Nice to see you, Diane.
Thank you very much.
Diane Lang's been our guest. We're at the Wildlife Museum in Walnut Creek. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Diane.
Thank you.